Bike-ael FM, this is the Wally Show, and we are joined with the legendary Michael W. Smith here. And I got to ask you this. Are you old enough to own the term legendary without feeling old?
Yes.
Okay.
But being a legendary is a matter of opinion. So, but I wouldn't call myself a legend.
Well, of course you wouldn't. I let other people call me legendary. Like,
there you go.
I don't stop them. But yeah, but you
gotta learn how to receive it, don't you?
Yeah, you've been in the game for so long, my man. Like, you've been doing this for a legendary amount of time, and you're still putting out new music, this is kind of what I want to talk about. Like, you released 2 back-to-back albums. The first was Million Lights, which I've been told is kind of a response to the divisiveness and kind of the mess going on in the world, and in social media as well. And then you follow that up with a worship album, Surrounded. So is there sort of a combined message that you're putting out by putting out 2 what could be seen as divergent albums? I know that's a little heady.
No, I just did it because I felt like I was supposed to do it.
Well, that was easier.
I mean, that would have probably been insane 10 years ago. I was genuinely moved by obviously the election and the hatred and on both sides of the aisle.
Right.
And I had really not written anything much in 2016. My dad went to heaven November 15, which was really hard for me, and I was just grieving my dad, and there was just no creativity. I kind of went through one of those years where, hey, it's been a great run, I might need to find another job.
See, that's interesting though. Like, you go through something traumatic like that. We're talking to Michael W. Smith about losing your dad, and I would assume one of 2 things happens. You either pour it into your hands and a song comes out, or like you said, I just got a little numb creatively. And so, did you ever sit down and write something about that passing of your dad?
I did, but it took a while.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, I think all my energy was just making sure my mom was good, and this is a new norm, and just trying to sort of wade through those waters, which is it's a different deal.
Right.
And so, but then the election happened, and it's really not about politics, but that's what spurred on the Million Lights record. The first song I wrote on that record was called Revolution, and
but then you followed up with like a worship album, because people could say, well, you're getting political, or you're getting into that world where you're talking about what's going on, which actually I think is a good thing, but then you follow that up with a worship album, maybe as a cushion to, hey, there is a lot of mess in the world, but we need to be reminded of this.
Yeah, I think it was a perfect follow-up, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, the worship thing, I'd already been in the middle of writing for A Million Lights. Once I wrote Revolution, I couldn't hit record quick enough. It was just like floodgates open, and it was just, I wrote 50 songs. I mean,
really
50 ideas. It just was incredible. And then it was in March of 17 when somebody reminded me of that Amos 5 passage, that I'd read so many times, and I actually read the Message version, Eugene Peterson, and I think it's like chapter 5, verse 23, 24, and God's a little ticked at his people, and he's basically saying, look, I'm tired of your sacrifices, and I'm tired of your music.
Interesting.
And that got my attention.
I bet, yeah.
Big time.
Like, are you sick of me yet, Lord?
and he said, turn it off.
Wow.
And then he said, you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for justice to roll like a waterfall. And I literally just backed up in a corner, crawled up in a fetal position, like, all right, I can't afford to miss it, and I need to re-examine everything that I'm doing. And then I just had this crazy dream going, I want you to do a vertical record, and I want every race, every tribe, and every nation represented, and I want you to do it in the round.
Cool.
And that was sort of the dream I had. And then I remember thinking of, there was a rapper 2 years ago that I've gone blank on his name, who released 2 records back-to-back weeks. And I thought, wow, that's insane. And then the more I thought about it, well, that's kind of cool. Maybe one day I'll do that. And I remember thinking about that guy doing that, and I thought, well, why not?
The only thing that would be more shocking than that from you, Michael W. Smith, would be you releasing 2 back-to-back rap albums. I would absolutely.
Now that would be insane.
I would love to hear that. You have no idea.
At least it would be interesting.
You'd go platinum just from my sales alone. So we're talking to Michael W. Smith, and do you think, you talk about like revolution, a song about the things that are going on in the world today. Do you think that Christian artists and music should speak to the issues facing our society, or is just being positive and worshipful or writing worship music enough?
I don't think that's enough.
Good.
At all.
Right answer.
At all. No, I don't think we talk enough about them. We tend to stay positive, and God's in control, and He is. But to not write about what's going on, to not write about the awful stuff that's going on, sex trafficking, you name it, the drug epidemic, it needs to be addressed and needs to be talked about, because there's people dying out there, and we're just going to sit around and sing a bunch of worship songs. I think that's not God's heart, in my opinion.
No, we need to have a voice in that and to influence culture. I think we should be louder on a lot of those things.
I agree.
And music is such a powerful way to do that, because it connects with people on such a personal basis. But there's a problem where, as people who listen, almost don't allow that. It's like, well, I just expect this from them, and I just want a worship song to get me through the week, and I'm good. Yeah. But that doesn't help other people as well. And so that's an area I think that this business in this industry could grow. We're talking to Michael W. Smith. And speaking of that, and speaking of growing, like, you've seen so many changes in Christian music over the years, and when you sit with upcoming artists now, because you kind of shift into that, that kind of mentor role too, what do you advise them as far as like writing music for the next generation?
Well, I first tell them it's not about them.
That's a great place to start.
Let's start right there.
Yeah. But that's a good reminder, though, too, because it's easy to get that flipped.
Yeah. Yeah. I think first it's really all about the heart, I mean, pride is the root of everything that's wrong with our world. That's where it all starts, is pride.
For sure. That's where it started all those years ago,
Exactly.
Too.
And you know what? I think you've got to get that dialed in. God opposes the proud. He gives grace to the humble, So how do you create, and how do you be the best that you can be, but still take the back seat?
Yeah, and it's not always easy to do
in
a creative industry.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, if you want to check out Michael W. Smith in the round, because you're going to be at Bridgestone, and you're doing the Surrounded concert. It says Michael W. Smith and Friends. Can you say who the friends are? One or two?
The friends are actually leaders in this city.
Oh, cool.
And some pastors. This is we're really not promoting a record, honestly. I mean, there's songs from Surrounded, but the whole thing is really a night to sing over our city and to pray over our city and our leaders and our nation, because we're in trouble. That's
cool, though. That's a great statement to make, and on a big scale too, like at Bridgestone, which is the arena. That is a big deal, and it gets noticed too. So that's awesome, man. I love that.
I think there's something significant about where we're doing it. Bridge, stone.
Got it.
Big antenna.
Got it.
And there was a prophecy. There's been a lot of prophecies that have been prophesied over Nashville, and I've heard them for years. And one was that there would be a shot heard all around the world, and that shot came out of Nashville.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
And then we get this word trigger all the time. Mm-hmm. Trigger. So, we know that the next great awakening is about to happen. We know it's coming. And
why not start here?
Could it start here?
It's got to start somewhere.
And you know what? I think it's going to.
Well, you might as well and be part of it. You don't want to miss it, because it's going to start here in Nashville, maybe even on the 30th at Bridgestone with Michael W. Smith and Surrounded. So check that out if you're here locally and you want to, go and be part of it. That'd be awesome. And I would imagine
it's free.
That's the other beautiful part too. Look at TBN coming through with the free on that one.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Because you want to invite people too that maybe, look at faith differently than you do. Absolutely. And it could be a life-changing thing just for people that show up there too. And because that's where all of this change starts. It starts on an individual basis, and then rolls out from there.
Yep.
WayFM, this is the Wally Show, and we're joined by none other than Mr. Michael W. Smith. Yeah, do I have to put the Mr. in there?
No.
It's kind of classy.
Smitty, just call me Smitty.
Smitty? Yeah. I'm on Smitty level now?
Absolutely, yeah, been for years.
Dude,
you didn't know it?
I didn't, actually. I didn't get the Christmas card, so I'm not sure.
I'll make sure you get it this year.
Now, you and I have something in common other than we both had to cut our sweet, sweet mullets at one time.
Yes.
You have been in a movie, and I, too, have been in a movie. We're both movie stars.
Really? What movie were you in?
You might have heard of it. It's a little film called I Can Only Imagine.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, with Dennis Quaid. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so you, though, are in a movie called Beautifully Broken. And so what is the gist of that movie?
It's a true story, and it's miraculous. It's amazing. About a family who barely escaped the genocide in Rwanda.
I've been to Rwanda, and to hear people talk about it, they still talk about it. It's still in people's mind, and
crazy.
it's heartbreaking, the stories out of that. So this is based on someone going through that?
Yeah, and that person lives in Nashville, Tennessee now.
No way.
Yeah. So my character is that when he comes to Nashville, he's kind of taken in by a church, and I'm the pastor of the church.
Oh, so you're not even doing like, hey, it's Michael W. Smith as the worship leader?
No. So,
you're going through acting chops.
yeah, just a little bit.
That's
I've
good.
kind of been doing this off and on. I'll grab a part in something that if it's something that I really love. Last thing I was in was 90 Minutes in Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it because I love the story, and then just the whole thing about a compassion kid getting sponsored, and how these things connect, which is just you can't make up this stuff, and how that connected with a white family in America, and here's this guy trying to get his family over to America from Rwanda, his wife and daughter. It's a wild ride, and I was excited. The director asked if I would come and be a part of it. So
you got a bigger part than I got. I'll be honest with you. I was like about 5 seconds at the end of I Can Only Imagine, and that's even pushing it. Actually, it might have been 4, but like you got the whole role. I like that.
Yeah, and it's not a big role; it's a small role, but I loved it. The cast was great.
Okay,
and it's coming out soon.
Big question: did you get your own trailer?
I took my own bus down.
Oh, okay. Here I was like feeling good about myself. I was gonna like brag and be like, "Well,
you got a trailer.
I got a trailer." Yeah, you just took your bus. That's nice.
You usually do have a trailer, and they're not big.
Yeah, well, you had a bus. That's really nice.
We just didn't want to fly down there, and we filmed in Louisiana. We thought, let's just bus it down there and do it. So that was my dressing room. But you know what? I don't hide away. Unless I'm really, if it's a big part, like the Second Chance, I'm looking at the script every day and all that sort of thing. But I just really loved hanging out with the cast. And so
it's fun, like doing a movie. Like it's just a weird camaraderie, and it's crazy how many people it takes to shoot 30 seconds of something.
It's unbelievable.
There's so many people working on it, and the fact that this story, Beautifully Broken, has a compassion tie-in is really cool. Like we sponsor like 5 compassion kids, and you've been with them for years as well.
I have.
What is the tie-in of the compassion part of this?
Well, there's a girl that gets sponsored. I don't want to give the whole thing away.
Don't give it all away.
But there's a teenager in the movie of a family who's gone through a bit of a crisis, like a horrific kind of thing happened to her, and to watch what happens with this family on the other side of the world, ministering to this girl who's sponsoring that kid.
Oh, that's cool.
In Rwanda. And there's a lot of drama. It's really good. And then the outcome of what happened, this, reconciliation, this healing, and whew.
Because I've always said too that like when you sponsor a child from compassion, like you think you're changing their life, but they have the ability in their letters and the things in their life and their life story to actually change yours as well.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. So that's neat that this movie has a lot of that in it. What do you like if you we're talking to Michael W. Smith, if you had to make a choice now between music and acting, now that I know you have a bus and can drive to any set, which would you do the rest of your life? You can only do one.
No, music is
still your heart.
Yeah.
Really? Because actors get treated so good.
Yeah, but and I think I'll continue to, I get scripts on my desk and I'll read a bunch of them, and I don't like very many of them. That's why I don't do any.
That's the tricky thing, because you want to be involved with something that you think is powerful and is done well.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to see this. I saw the trailer for it, and it definitely piqued my curiosity, where I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
And the movie's Beautifully Broken, and you can check that out. I believe it's going to be in theaters around the 20th.
24th, 23rd, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. And you can see Michael W. Smith acting like a preacher. Way FM, this is the Wally Show with Michael W. Smith, and you know him from all of his songs and his worship music and all of his albums. But now you've branched out a little bit, and he's branched out to create not only a lullaby album, but also a kids book called Nighty Night and Good Night. And this sounds like the move of a creative but desperate grandparent who needs grandkids to go to sleep.
I love that. That's
awesome. Like, because how many grandkids you have?
I have 14.
Holy moly!
And another one on the way.
Yeah, so that's crazy. What do they call you?
G Daddy.
Do they really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. And
look how cool you're keeping it.
I love it.
That's fantastic.
I didn't know if it would stick, but it did.
Did you make them call you that? Like, they're like, Grandpa, and you're like, that's G Daddy to you.
Yeah, I mean, it really happened. My son was, because my dad was granddaddy, and remember him at 8, 9
right.
years old, and he couldn't say granddaddy. He would say G Daddy.
Oh, okay.
And I remember going, that's what I want to be called.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, like, as you put together a children's book, like cartoons, I used to write cartoons, and a lot of times when you're writing these kids things, there are characters from your life that somehow work into the creative process. Are any of the characters in Nighty Night and Good Night you, or somebody that, or like an amalgamation of someone you know?
Not really.
Really?
No, but I'm obviously, I'm reading to my child, trying to, Anna, in the book, trying to get her to sleep,
Okay.
and then I'm on the lullaby record as well, just with these 3 characters, Eddie Bear, Sandy Lammy, and Sleepy Puppy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those are the 3 characters, and they all play instruments.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
You got to write what you know. That's what they say.
Yeah.
So we got Michael W. Smith was here, and are you planning an audio book for the Nighty Night and Good Night series?
Not as far as I know.
I think you should, because I don't like to read.
You don't like to read?
Yeah, I'm a horrible reader, and so
it's a very short book.
I'm attention span, dyslexia, a lot of things working against me.
I'm not surprised at that, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I think you should do an audio version of this. So I would be curious what it would sound like if you, Michael W. Smith, read a little bit of Nighty Night and Good Night. Can I hear what that sounds like?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Every night before he went to bed. This is Ben.
Okay.
No, it used to be Anna, but let's put Anna in here. Let's
Okay.
put Anna. Every night before she went to sleep, Ben and his mom said a simple prayer.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yes.
Something just doesn't feel right.
Well, it doesn't feel right.
I don't. It might be mood. Hang on a second. Let me do something here. Hang on a second. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there.
Okay.
Just don't freak out either. Okay.
We'll try not to.
You just lean into this. Okay. It's
Okay.
gonna be
Well,
fine.
I'm leaning.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
I'm not
I want to make sure that this comes off really, really good.
I'm not
for you.
gonna look. I'm not looking.
It's your first book, and I want to make sure that it is well received as we read this. All right, you ready?
Oh gosh. Yes. There you go.
All right. Let's see here.
Oh gosh. I love it. Okay.
Okay. Start again, please. I'm sorry.
Every night before he went to bed, Wally and his mom said a simple prayer. Dear God, thank you for this day.
Still missing something. I mean, I think we could use a kid and a kid's impression of this. Or some lighting.
Yes.
Let's make it a little, that's more like my room.
Ooh, I like that.
Right there, that's more
I
like
like
my
that.
bedroom right
Yes.
there. That's nice.
Okay.
Continue, sorry.
Yes. Dear God, thank you for this day. Please help all of our family and friends sleep well tonight. Amen.
No, not amen yet.
Ooh, not amen.
I think we're still missing one more thing.
What are we missing?
I think we need a real live kid. Like, I'm trying to capture this, but give me a real live kid. Anna Banana, come here.
Anna Banana.
Come
Woo!
here. Let's read to Anna and
Come
see how
on.
this goes. Get up there.
Hey, what's happening?
All right, let's
You
see.
are awesome.
Let's see how Anna likes it. Here,
Okay, let's try this. Yep, get a blanket.
Okay, you got a blanket. You ready? Okay.
This is gonna be so fun. All right, here we go. Every night before she went to bed, Anna and her mom said a simple prayer. Dear God, thank you for this day. Please help all of our family and friends sleep well tonight.
Real quick, I don't know if it just doesn't feel quite right yet. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, if you could. Okay,
Wally, you're hilarious.
Okay, now let's do it.
This is going to go all over social media. I love it. But tonight, Wally and Anna Banana was not sleepy. We got a problem. Uh-oh, they thought it's time for bed, but we can't fall asleep. And, well, guess what happened next? You all switched on the nightlight.
What?
You switched on the nightlight.
Well, switch it on.
Switch it on. Hi, Nighty Nights. Wally and Anna, they asked his fluffy friends, not feeling tired, asked Lammy. Can't go to sleep, question Bear. Wow. Let me turn the page here. Maybe we can help, suggested Sleepy Puppy with a yawn. Are you asleep, Wally?
I'm sorry, Anna, are you awake?
Are you awake?
Oh, well, you know what?
Some people say that counting sheep can help you go to sleep.
Hey, real quick, how long is this book? Because this is getting real awkward. Like, this ain't like War and Peace, is it?
You're sitting on my lap.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's just read the book another way.
Yay!
So there you go.
Yay, Wally!
Good night and good night. And I got to do something I never thought in a million years I'd do, and that's sit on Michael W. Smith's lap.
Oh, love it. This is awesome.
Wait, FM, this is The Wally Show with Michael W. Smith. And I say it that way to be very emphatic because Betty Rock, the first time we were talking about you, I think the first time you even met him, thought that we were going to be talking to George Michael.
Oh, really?
Can I clarify the story?
I would love for you to.
Okay, so here's what happened. You know, I can be easily distracted. And so you were talking about something about how you looked back when you were younger, and you were passing around your phone and it had a picture of you, but I wasn't paying attention to the conversation. And so the phone got to me and I was like, oh my gosh, that's George Michael from Wham. He sings Wake Me Up Before You Go Go.
Yeah.
And everyone was like,
Mortified.
yes. But
That's how it all.
That's how it happened. And
All right.
so we want to see how much she's learned with you here. So we're going to play a game. George Michael, Michael W. Smith, or Will Smith, okay? I'm going to hold up pictures, Betty, and you're going to tell me who it is a picture of, and Michael will confirm or deny if the
Okay.
answer is right. So we're going to start off with this one, okay? So this is going to be your first picture. Is this picture here, Betty, George Michael, Michael W. Smith, or Will Smith?
ooh, I'm going to guess Michael W. Smith.
Yeah.
That is Michael W.
Really?
Smith?
Ding, ding,
That,
ding, ding.
wow, nicely
that's
done.
great.
How old would you guess you were there?
Old enough to know better?
Old enough, 34?
Oh, really? You kept the long hair that long? Good for you.
Yeah.
I respect that, dude. I had long hair too, and I cut it eventually, but I respect you keeping it on that tip. All right, next one. Here we go. Is this George Michael, Michael W. Smith, or Will Smith? Betty Rock, answer that question now. Look at him. Look at him in the face.
Oh, wait, the earrings. George Michael.
Oh, way to figure that out.
That's the only way.
That's the only way you could figure that out.
Job.
Michael's like, really? The only way? Okay. Well, then you'll for sure get this one. George Michael, Michael W. Smith, or Will Smith?
Oh, but it's a cross.
Yes.
Michael W.
Yes.
Final answer.
Is that Michael W. Smith? Yeah. But you rocked the 5 o'clock shadow like he did too for a long time. And very well too.
Did I?
Yeah, I think so. I couldn't do it like
There's
that.
a lot of compliments coming from one side of the room.
Oh, yeah.
So much from him.
Okay. It's going to get harder here. Is this George Michael, Michael W. Smith, or Will Smith? Okay, Betty, so take a good look at this before you answer.
Ooh, that's a toughie. I'm going to say Will Smith.
Is that Will Smith, Michael?
Will Smith.
Are you sure that's not you?
Positive that's not me.
You're not wearing earrings, so she didn't rule it out that way.
I don't know. Can you rap the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yeah, and I'm not. That's Will.
Do you know that one, though? Like, because I think everyone knows that. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playgrounds where I spent most of my days chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. I guess I'm the only one. All right. It's going to get harder. Here we go. Michael W. Smith or Will Smith or George Michael. There we go. This is your next one. Betty Rock.
Oh, Wow.
Look at
if
that
that's
hair.
Michael W. Smith, that's very unfortunate.
You realize he's sitting right next to you,
I'm
right?
going to
at
say
that.
George Michael.
Oh,
No?
nope, that's me.
That is you,
Whoa.
That's me.
dude.
Sporting the perm.
What was I thinking?
Bold choice.
Big picture record.
You know what? Not a big deal.
1986.
I see. I'm not going to throw any stones at you. I had a perm as well around
no,
that
you
same
did
time.
not.
I did.
I want to see pictures.
I did. Oh, I looked like a drowned rat. Michael definitely is wearing this much better than I did. Okay, Betty Rock, can you get this one?
Uh-oh.
Michael W. Smith, George Michael, or Will Smith?
Oh, Michael W. That looks just like
Yeah, it looks like you now, actually,
Yeah.
kind of. That's a strong look for you.
more recent look.
Highlights were the thing then.
That's still a strong look for you. I don't think that's that far long ago. Okay, final one. You've
Okay.
done very well, Betty. I'm honestly
Yeah, I
surprised.
think I've only got messed up on one.
I know. We're playing Michael or George Michael, Michael W. Smith, or Will Smith. Your final one. This is a more recent photo of this person.
Ooh, Will Smith.
Yeah.
Will Smith is absolutely right. Nicely done. We have him. This is the Wally Show, and we've got Michael W. Smith with us, and I really appreciate you being on the show. And I don't say it lightly when I say that you are legendary in this business. And I know that you're a humble man, and that's hard to hear, but you've done this for so long and been so consistent, and that's something to be proud of. And I'm curious, because of what you've accomplished in this industry, has anybody ever named anything after you? Like, is there a Michael W. Smith building or a Michael W. Smith sandwich or something like that?
Not as far as I know.
Really?
No.
I am so sad but glad to hear that.
Yeah.
And for this reason, because I would have thought not even a Michael W. Smith line of pianos? No. Okay. Well, here's the deal. You do have something named after you now. And you're not going to believe this. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, Becca, can you bring this out for me, please? I got into mountain biking recently, okay?
Yeah.
And I wanted to, get a little healthier, have a little
Okay,
fun.
that's good.
And so I got a mountain bike.
Okay.
And as part of that, I said to, on the show, I said, we need to name it. Like you name your car, it needs a name.
Yeah.
And so we had people submit entries into what they should call it. And our intern, actually, young Ethan, came up with the name of my bike. Can you do me a favor? Can you read what the name of my bike is? I literally put it on my bike.
Bike-ael W. Smith.
Bike-ael W. Smith.
Bike-ael W. Smith.
Yes.
I like that.
It is the official name sake of you. And you could maybe parlay this into an endorsement for mountain bikes.
You know what? We could.
The Bike-ael W. Smith. I've had people ask me what that is.
We could make some money. What do you think?
I know, right?
I mean, it's really your idea. So you take.
But you're the star power behind this.
Well, but how about we let's.
We could split it?
Let's do it. Let's split it.
I like it. Now, the last thing I'm going to need you to do, it's got to be an autographed version of this. So I'll get
Yes.
you to sign my Bike-ael W.
Absolutely.
Smith.
Done.
And then that way, when I'm out tearing it up, people can go, who was that? I'm like, that was Bike-ael W. Smith. Boom.
I love it. You're really writing that.
I really write it all the
love it.
time.
That's
I take it out, and I've had people ask me about that.
Okay.
Do you know the Christian artist, Josh Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, Josh Wilson and I went riding, and he looked at that and went, oh my gosh, that is the best ever. You don't see a Josh Wilson Bike-ael, no.
Maybe one day.
Nope, Bike-ael W. Smith.
Okay. All right.
Bike-ael W. Smith. It's official now. Thank you, sir.